All right, this is Ubaid on behalf of Electronics, and in this video, we'll be talking about different types of cost of production. Okay, so when it comes to cost of production, this is something that you have to consider when trying to figure out your gross profit. Okay, and basically, the cost of production has to do with your demand curve. Okay, as well as the um, quantity. All right. So, say for example, when it comes to a fixed cost, okay, it has to do with fixed cost versus your quantity produced, right? Okay. Apart from that, if you have a variable cost, such as your wages, okay, you will have your variable cost versus quantity produced. All right. So, say for example, over here, okay, you have variable cost, you have labor, and you have quantity. All right. So as the total number of hours worked goes up, okay, the quantity of production goes up. As the total number of laborers go up, the quantity of production goes up. All right. And so does the fixed cost, variable cost, and total cost of production, right? Because obviously, you will need raw materials to produce something. Okay, you will need people to produce something. Okay, you will need utility, electricity, okay, a building, okay, some land, okay, so on and so forth. So for that reason, okay, if you look at this chart over here, okay, look at all the graphs, okay, you may notice that the fixed cost over here, this is your orange line, your orange curve, okay, just underneath your variable cost. Okay, so fixed costs are usually less than your variable costs. And fixed costs include, okay, your utilities, okay, your rent payments, okay, so on and so forth. Your variable on the other side, okay, will have things like your wages, okay, your supply pricing, okay, whatever you're being charged for your inventory, okay, so on and so forth. So when it comes to your total cost, okay, your total cost will be the combination of fixed, okay, this is your fixed, and this is your variable. So a combination of fixed and variable cost. All right. So when you add them up, you get a curve that looks something like this. All right, right on the top. So this is your total cost of production. Okay, that covers your variable and your fixed cost. Okay, now your marginal cost is a derivative. All right. So when it comes to your marginal cost, this is a derivative, meaning that this will be less than your total cost. Okay. So your marginal cost basically says, hey, listen, this is how much it takes to produce one unit. Okay. So the change in price, okay, or change in cost, okay, divide by the change in quantity. All right. So when it comes to the change in cost, we're talking about change in total cost. Okay, so this is your total cost. As you see, okay, when we add the number of hours worked, for example, okay, your total cost of production will go up. Okay, as it goes up, okay, the difference, the slope, okay, for total cost will be your marginal cost. Okay, so the difference between zero point 0.2 and zero point 0.1. Okay, rise over run. Okay, so further down, you have your marginal cost. Okay, yeah, this will be less than your average total cost. Okay, and next you have your, okay, your average total cost. Okay, so your average total cost, okay, so your marginal cost will be less than your total cost. Your average total cost, in most cases, will be the same as your marginal cost. Okay, to some extent. Okay, because MR, your marginal cost, okay, MC equals your average total cost, okay, equals price. All right. And this is basically using your formula, right? So when it comes to your average total cost, it will be the same curve, okay, as your marginal cost. Okay, and your average variable cost will be less than your average total cost. Okay, so when it comes to your average variable cost, okay, we're looking at values like 5, 4, 4 over here on this table. Okay, and if you notice, if you compare them with your average total cost, they're comparatively less. The reason why is because average variable cost is the average for your variable expenses. All right, so okay, so apart from that, okay, this is basically all your different costs of production. Okay, when it comes to producing any finished product. Okay, and apart from that, this is Obey on behalf of Electronics. Have yourself a great day.